No one respects you, and it is not an accident. You walk into a room, and people barely look up. You do everything right, but you are still treated like an option. From a Stoic view, this is not bad luck. It is a pattern you trained. In this vid, you will see 7 habits that quietly kill your self-respect and the Stoic way to replace each one, so people start respecting you without you begging for it. Stay until the end, because changing even one of these habits can quietly rewrite how the world responds to you. You know this pattern too well. At work, you stay late fixing other people's mistakes. You say yes to the extra task and call it being a team player. They smile, they joke, they know they can count on you. But when it is time to listen, to choose, to trust someone, they step right over you. When the project is praised, your name is background noise. They like having you around. They like how useful you are, but they do not respect you. You feel useful, but invisible. Nice, but never powerful. With friends or family, someone makes a joke that cuts too deep. You feel that sting in your chest, but you laugh it off. You tell yourself, "It is not a big deal. I do not want to be dramatic." But every time you let it slide, you silently teach them it is allowed. Then there is the war you fight alone. Scrolling at night, comparing your life to everyone else's highlights, telling yourself you are behind, not good enough, not doing enough. You replay moments where you apologized even when you did nothing wrong. You start to believe the story that you are the person people step over. How long will you keep living in a way that trains people to ignore your value? The Stoics would say this is not a problem of love or popularity. This is a problem of standards. From a Stoic perspective, respect does not start with how others treat you. It starts with how you treat yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote that your mind becomes dyed with the color of your thoughts. If your thoughts, words, and choices keep telling the world, "I am not worth much," people simply believe you. This is brutal, but it is also freeing. The Stoics would say you do not control who approves of you. You control the standards you set for how you live, how you speak, and what you tolerate. Self-respect is not a feeling that comes and goes. Self-respect is a standard you refuse to drop, even when you are tired, lonely, or afraid. So in this video, we are not going to chase confidence. We are going to expose 7 habits that quietly lower your standards and replace them with Stoic rules that raise them back up. Remember this line: self-respect is a standard, not a mood. From this lens, we get to the first habit. The first habit that kills your self-respect is living for approval. You bend your opinions, your schedule, even your personality just to keep people happy. You become whoever they need you to be, as long as they do not reject you. At work, you stay silent when you disagree, because you want to keep the peace. In relationships, you pretend you are fine when you are clearly hurt. You smile, you nod, and your real feelings quietly disappear. In practice, this means you ask, "Do they like me?" Far more than, "Do I respect myself right now?" The Stoic shift is this: stop asking if they approve. Start asking, "Do I respect the person I am being in this moment?" The day you value your own approval more than theirs is the day your self-respect starts to rise. The second habit that kills your self-respect is explaining yourself and making excuses for everything. You are late, you overpromise, you do not deliver, and instead of owning it, you build a long story to protect your image. You jade all the time. You justify, argue, defend, explain. With your boss, You list every reason why you did not finish. With your partner, you turn every feedback into a debate. Deep down, you are not bad. You are scared of facing your own lack of discipline. In practice, this means you protect your comfort more than your character. The Stoic way is different. Say less. Take more responsibility. I did not manage my time well. I will fix it. No drama, no story. Every time you drop an excuse and choose responsibility, your self-respect grows a little stronger. This is where most people break. They would rather protect their excuses than protect their standards. If you feel called out right now, good. That means this is your habit to kill. The third habit that kills your self-respect is self-doubt and brutal self-talk. You become your own bully. You whisper to yourself, "You are not good enough. You will fail. You do not deserve respect." When you make a mistake, you do not say, "I can learn." You say, "Of course, you ruined it again." Imagine talking to a friend the way you talk to yourself. You would lose them in one day. But you talk to yourself like this for years and then wonder why your confidence is gone. In practice, you treat your mind like an enemy territory, not your inner citadel. The Stoic shift is to become a strict but fair coach to yourself, not soft, but not cruel. Replace. I always mess this up with, "This is hard, but I am capable of learning." You do not need fake affirmations. You need honest, disciplined encouragement. You cannot build self-respect on a voice that despises you. Now we get to a habit almost everyone pretends is harmless. It feels small, it feels social, but it quietly destroys how people see you. The fourth habit that kills your self-respect is living in negativity and gossip. You complain about everything and everyone. You talk about how unfair life is, how stupid other people are, how the world is against you. You become the person who always has a problem, never a solution. At work, you join the group that tears down everyone who is trying. With friends, your conversations are mostly about who failed, who embarrassed themselves, and who is falling apart. For a moment, it feels powerful to judge, but afterward, you feel empty and a little ashamed. In practice, this means your words build nothing. They only destroy. The Stoic question is simple. What am I building with my words right now? Choose to speak with purpose. Talk more about solutions than complaints, more about your own responsibilities than other people's flaws. Respect follows the person whose words lift, not the one whose words slowly poison the room. If you only fix one habit from this video, let it be this one. This is the habit that makes you lose a fight you were never supposed to be in. The fifth habit that kills your self-respect is constant comparison. You measure your worth against other people's highlight reels. Their promotion, their body, their relationship, their followers. You take your deepest struggles and compare them to their best 10 seconds on social media. You scroll and think, "I am behind. I am late. I am not enough." You forget that everyone has a different starting line, different burdens, different timing. In practice, you let strangers on a screen become the judge of your value. The Stoic shift is to change the competition. You are not competing with them. You are competing with who you were yesterday. Ask, am I a little more disciplined, a little more honest, a little more aligned with my standards than last week? That is where self-respect grows, not from winning against others, but from winning against your old self. The sixth habit that kills your self-respect is saying yes when every part of you wants to say no. You overcommit, overgive, and overextend until you are exhausted and resentful. You say yes to favors you do not have the energy for. You say yes to conversations that drain you. You say yes to people who would never do the same for you. On the outside, you look kind and helpful. On the inside, you feel used and invisible. In practice, you treat your time and energy as if they belong to everyone else. The Stoic rule is this: if saying yes means betraying yourself, the answer is no. You do not have to scream or explain. A calm sentence is enough. Thanks for asking, but I am not available for that. Every time you protect your boundaries, you send your nervous system one clear message: I am someone worth protecting. That is self-respect. If you are still here, this is the hardest part. Most people would rather lose themselves than lose people. But this is exactly where your new life begins. The seventh habit that kills your self-respect is lowering your standards when you are afraid to be alone or rejected. You tolerate disrespect because you do not want to lose people. You excuse broken promises, rude behavior, and one-sided effort. You tell yourself, it is not that bad. At least I am not alone. But you are alone. You are alone with a version of yourself you no longer admire. In practice, this means you trade your standards for the company. The Stoic shift is harsh but clean. Better to walk alone in integrity than be surrounded while betraying yourself. The moment you decide, this is the line, and I will not cross it for anyone, people either rise to meet you or fall away. You do not control who stays. You control the price of admission to your life. Respect yourself enough to make it expensive. Talking about self-respect is useless if you never practice it. If you skip this part, nothing in this video will actually change your life. So let us keep this simple. One small action in the next 24 hours. One small rule for the next 7 days. First, your 24-hour self-respect test. Within the next 24 hours, notice one moment where your body says no, but your mouth is about to say yes. It might be a favor you do not have energy for. It might be a conversation you do not want to be in. It might be an apology you are about to give just to keep the peace. In that one moment, you do something different. You pause, you take one breath, and you say one calm sentence instead of abandoning yourself. Thanks for thinking of me, but I am not available for that. Or, I am not comfortable with that, so I am going to pass. Or, I am going to stay out of this conversation. One moment, one sentence, one time you choose self-respect over approval. That is your 24-hour test. Now, your 7-day standards rule. For the next 7 days, you follow one simple promise. For 7 days, I will not explain my no in more than one sentence. No long stories. No justifying, arguing, defending, or explaining. You are not on trial. If something is not aligned with your standards, you say, no, that does not work for me. And you let the silence do its work. If they push, you repeat calmly, I already gave you my answer. That is it. At the end of these 7 days, you will not just have heard a video about self-respect. You will have 7 days of real choices that prove to your own nervous system, I am someone whose standards matter. Write this line where you can see it every day. I respect my standards first. Every time you act from that line, your self-respect gets a little heavier, a little more unshakable, and a little harder for anyone to step over. This is not just about the 7 habits. This is about who you decide to be from now on. You are shifting from the person who begs for respect to the person who lives in a way that demands it quietly. From the person who over-explains and apologizes for existing to the person who speaks less but stands firm. From the person who chases approval and comparison to the person who competes only with their past self. This is what a Stoic life looks like in the modern world. Not cold, not arrogant, but rooted. Self-respect is your foundation, discipline in your choices, quiet power in your presence. Next time you are in the exact situation from the beginning of this video, ignored in a room, overlooked in a conversation, treated like you are optional, you will feel the difference. You will not need to shout or prove anything. Your standards will already be speaking for you. So imagine that room again. You walk in, and people still test your boundaries. Someone tries to dump extra work on you or throw a disrespectful joke your way. This time, you do not laugh along or explain yourself to earn their approval. You stay calm, you draw your line, and you let your no be enough. The punchline is simple. When you stop disrespecting yourself, the world slowly follows. On Stoic Ether, we train self-respect, discipline, and quiet power. If this helped you stand a little taller inside, stay here. Subscribe so we can keep building your standards together, one video at a time. And in the comments, lock this in. Right, I respect my standards first. If someone in your life is quietly burning themselves out just to feel seen, share this video with them. You are not broken. You were trained. Now you are retraining yourself.